We tend to view the height of Hollywood success as a highly controlled environment. It is a world of perfectly tailored tuxedos, pristine red carpets, and smiles that have been rehearsed for months. But most stars aren't born into that polish. Before he was an icon, Denzel Washington's first job was sweeping up hair in a neighborhood barbershop. At 11 years old, he learned to size up a room. He would ignore the suits and the handshakes, looking only at a customer's shoes. For a kid looking for a tip, footwear was the only data point that actually mattered. That early hustle, the ability to look past a person's presentation to find the raw truth, is a survival mechanism. It is the practice of reading the room before the room has a chance to read you. Long before the awards, Washington spent his mornings as a neighborhood garbage man. It was a life defined by the physical rhythm of heaving heavy metal cans into the back of a compactor. He worked alongside veterans who had mastered the art of the sprint. These guys could condense an 8-hour shift into 3 hours of hyper-efficiency, leaving a younger, unseasoned worker with dead forearms and zero energy by the time the route was finished. He eventually moved to San Francisco for grad school, where he applied that same strategic logic to his hunger. He took a job ladling soup in a cafeteria, not for the meager paycheck, but because it was the only way to guarantee he would eat for free every single day. In the world of sanitation, there is a sub-economy known as haulage. These are the specific routes where people pay to have large, often valuable items hauled away. The crews fought over these routes. The goal was to find the items that never made it to the dump, discarded furniture or electronics that were diverted directly into the worker's possession to be sold or kept. This kind of labor provides a unique psychological grit. If you can navigate the hidden economies of a trash route and the physical toll of the truck, you are prepared for a world that refuses to follow a script. Because even if you've survived the streets, you aren't safe. The same grit required to navigate a New York trash route is suddenly tested by the illogical, low-stakes chaos of a suburban Tuesday. Take the simple goal of an art project: 9 people attempting to stay still for 90 seconds to recreate a Norman Rockwell painting. It should be a moment of quiet dignity, but instead it instantly dissolves into squabbling, heavy plates, and a family that can't stop insulting each other long enough to hold a pose. Or the civic pride of a child receiving a medal for putting out a neighborhood fire. The ceremony is a moment of local heroism, right until the realization hits that the boy only knew where the flames were because he was the one who lit the match. Even the quest for safety becomes absurd. A mother's attempt to slow down fast drivers starts as a righteous neighborhood watch and ends with her as a midnight vigilante, vandalizing property to prove a point about civic responsibility. It even infects the most basic business transactions. A couple trying to sell their home gets so aggressive with their sales pitch that the potential buyers walk away, convinced they weren't being shown a house, but were being invited into a swinging lifestyle. No matter how much we plan for a polished life, the people we live with have a way of ensuring those plans never survive the afternoon. Sometimes that breakdown in logic reaches a point where all boundaries simply vanish, like walking into your own backyard and finding a complete stranger casually relaxing in your hot tub. The situation turns from a simple trespass into a surreal comedy when the owners find where the intruder has been sleeping. He isn't in the guest room. He has folded his entire adult frame into a tiny, brightly colored plastic princess castle in the yard. This wasn't a stealthy invasion. It was a failure of communication. The homeowners heard the man say he had moved in and, out of a desire to avoid an awkward conversation, simply assumed he was the new tenant in a legitimate upstairs apartment. Human error and the fear of being impolite are the true architects of chaos. In the end, no one is actually in control of their own backyard. You might expect that standing in front of a live audience of millions would be the end of this unpredictability, but reaching the center of a global broadcast doesn't cure the chaos. It just invites more famous people into the wreckage. Take the expectation of meeting a legend. You might expect an evening with the godfather of soul to be a wild, unscripted ride. Instead, James Brown was known for being intensely, almost terrifyingly focused on business and professional rigidness. Contrast that with the surrealism of New Year's Day in the Bahamas, where you might find yourself on a couch next to funk icon George Clinton, having a conversation that feels like it's being broadcast from another dimension. Or the moment a host decides to FaceTime Lenny Kravitz on a whim during a live show. Instead of a curated rock star appearance, the world sees Kravitz completely vulnerable, dripping wet and fresh out of a shower he hadn't finished yet. Wealth and celebrity provide no shield against the awkward. The unfiltered, messy reality of being human follows you all the way to the top. It's the reason the Oscars, the most prestigious event in the industry, can look exactly like that failed family art project. One minute you have a choreographed celebration, and the next, accountants are handing out the wrong envelopes, and actors are reacting to jokes with their fists. When a live broadcast starts to collapse, the host has to tap into that same survival energy Denzel used on the trash truck. You have to learn how to pace yourself through the disaster without letting it break you. The scale of the stakes changes, and the rooms get more expensive, but the underlying clumsiness of being a person never actually goes away. A multi-billionaire facing a live television glitch is still just a person trying to keep the forearms from going dead. Whether it's an 11-year-old checking a customer's shoes or a host watching a rock star pick up a FaceTime call in a towel, the only thing that works is leaning into the weirdness. You have to be able to laugh when the plastic castle starts to feel like a home. Life is never going to be a polished script. From the barbershop floor to the red carpet, the only way to thrive is to embrace the unscripted hustle and keep moving.